What up, YouTube? How is everybody doing? All right, let's hop in. For those of you who don't know me, I am Steph Jackson, athlete freedom agent, and also a wide receiver coach. Okay, I played wide receiver for what feels like my entire life. Um, Even played women's pro football, played flag football. I mean, if there was a football being thrown, I was somewhere catching it. Okay. And now I am a coach, okay, on and off the field, right? Training, mindset, business. I'm a coach in every sense of the word, okay? So tonight, today, this afternoon, this morning, whenever you're watching this is the last installment of the name, image, and likeness rule, aka the NIL by states. So what we doing is, and this is part 5. So what we have done up until now is we have taken a look at every state law, every state's NIL law. All right. So we ended last time with South Carolina, or South Carolina, as I like to say. And we're gonna pick back up today, tonight, this afternoon, this morning with South Dakota. I was literally about to say San Diego because when I see SD, who thinks about South Dakota and not San Diego? But San Diego is not a state. Funny thing. It's a city in Cali. All right. So South Dakota does not have a name, image, and likeness law that they have passed. And so when there's no name, image, and likeness law, then you must look at the individual school in that state. So if you plan on going to school in South Dakota, I'm really fighting the urge to say San Diego. If you plan on going to school in South Dakota, then what you need to do is you need to get with the athletic director, aka the AD, and also the school compliance officer to find out what's the protocol and what's the rules on campus for the name, image, and likeness. Okay, because each school has its own rules. Usually they're just like the blanket rules, like the NCAA kind of placeholder rules until the state passes something or the feds pass something. But that is South Dakota, no law. All right. Next up, we got Tennessee. Tennessee whiskey. Y'all don't know nothing about country. Anyway, so Tennessee's law took effect January 1st of this year. So January 1st, 2022. And what we should know about Tennessee's law, it has tricky wording and language prohibiting organizations that benefit a school or athletic director from compensating or causing you, student athlete, to be compensated for your name, image, and likeness. States that this is prohibited if the deal is contingent upon a student athlete's enrollment or continued enrollment at a school. This language leaves a lot of wiggle room. Okay. This is the language that Florida probably wish they had when Deion Sanders beat them out for a couple of top athletes. Okay. Um, and it's also open for some abuse. So let's say University of Tennessee really wants you. They could likely loophole and set up some NIL agreements for you that are not contingent on you going to Tennessee. Wink, wink. But they really are. Okay. Um, so they're also big on disclosure. And what do we talk about? Disclosure means you have to tell your school about your name, image, and likeness contract, either before you enter it or so many hours after you enter it. Okay. So what Tennessee says is that you have to disclose your NIL contracts in an annual report, people. And it must be filed with the school in a manner designated by the school. So however the school says you have to file this annual report. Um, then that's how you got to file it. So this is what the report must include. Okay, it must include the identities of each person or entity providing compensation to you, student athlete. It must provide the amount received from each person or entity and any other information that your school deems necessary. All right. So they want an annual report of the contractual dealings that you have each year. So if you sign a contract with Adidas or something like that, they want to know how much you're getting, who's paying you, and everybody that's involved. All right. Also, this is a state that allows your NIL money to be calculated as income when it comes to need-based financial aid, not your scholarship, but need-based financial aid. Okay, so if you are on a full ride, don't worry about this. But if you have any need-based financial aid, then you really need to think about this. Okay, think about it. It allows the school to adopt reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions on your NIL activities that do not conflict with team activities, school operation, or the use of schools facilities. Okay, so schools are allowed to adopt reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions on your NIL activities. Reasonable. What does reasonable mean? The law still cannot tell you what reasonable means. There was this running joke in law school, and this kid, or I've seen a couple of law school students wearing a shirt that's a black shirt and then white writing is reasonable person. Like, come on, people. Really? Um, what else we got? Tennessee. Tennessee. Tennessee says that you cannot enter into a contract that conflicts with nor competes with your schools, any of your with the school that you attend. That is tricky. Okay, that could be tricky. All right, what does that mean? What does that mean? What if I sign a big deal and my school feels like it's competing with them in some kind of weird way? Because schools also have different contracts to better the school, right? They are businesses, is what you should know. Schools are businesses, and so are you. You're a business. So that is odd. Um, we will keep an eye on that one because I can see how that one could be used to restrict you. Mm. Okay, just like other states, lastly, Tennessee has the financial literacy workshop that must be conducted during your first full time term of enrollment. There's no minimum time provision. Anyone who is qualified may contract with the school to conduct a workshop. It also doesn't prohibit marketing. So you have to have a financial literacy workshop. It looks like every state has this, some form of this, just to make sure that you understand. Um, now that you're a business and now that you're able to make money, you need to understand money. You need to understand time. You need to understand the phrase "time is money." All right. So that's Tennessee. Next, we have Texas. I don't like Texas's NIL laws at I don't like them. I don't like them. I do not like them. Okay. Texas is right up there with Georgia. Is it Georgia? Give me a minute. Yes. Texas and Georgia are two red states to me, and that don't mean Republican or Democrat. That mean watch out. Okay. So Georgia had Georgia had the provision where they wanted to put a percentage of your money in a fund. Well, Texas has the student athlete trust provision. Okay, what does this mean? Glad you asked. So it allows schools in Texas to require you, student athlete, to place all your compensation into a trust account to be distributed to you once you are either no longer eligible once you are no longer eligible to participate in the program. No, indeed. No. So if I sign a $1 million name, image, and likeness contract with the company, I can't touch that million until I'm no longer eligible to play. No, thank you. No. Mm-mm. Um, you also must promptly disclose any of your contracts in a manner prescribed by your school. So however the school says you must do it, that's how you got to do it. It also prohibits you from entering into contracts where the compensation exceeds fair market value of your name, image, and likeness. How do you even determine the fair market value of a student athlete's name, image, and likeness? They have different ways of doing it, but I don't agree with it. Like, how? How? I'm sure they look at similarly situated athletes. They take into account, I'm assuming they take into account your marketability, so on and so forth. There is no real way to me. Like, that's also unduly restrictive. They prohibit you from entering into a contract that exceeds your fair market value. I see what they're saying. They're like, well, we don't want boosters to just be paying you $1 billion just for showing up on campus and you hadn't even. So what if they feel like I'm valuable enough to pay me $1 million? Why can't I get my million? You feel me? Like, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Anyway, um, what else does Texas have to offer that I cannot like? The provision, you also have to have, like I said, the financial literacy and life skills workshop. That is really good for you. Okay, take that free game and run with it. You know, it prohibits you from entering contracts that conflict with the team contract. That's in every state. So that's just one of those cut and dry provisions. So that is Texas. If I were you, I would stay away from Texas because, as is, the law is not your friend in Texas. Okay, just a forewarning. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna make this very short and very sweet. Utah, Virginia, I mean, what is this? Vermont, Washington, Wisconsin, West Virginia, Wyoming, all of the last states do not have name, image, and likeness laws. What does that mean? If you are going to school in Utah, Virginia, Vermont, Washington, Wisconsin, Wyoming, West Virginia, you need to check with your school because these states do not have name, image, and likeness laws on the books. Not yet, anyway. Couple of states are pending, but they haven't passed anything. Okay. So once again, I repeat, Utah, Virginia, Vermont, Washington, Wisconsin, Wyoming, West Virginia. If you are in school in any of those states or are about to sign to play as a student athlete in any of those states, you need to check with your school for the name, image, and likeness provisions. Okay? Because those states do not have name, image, and likeness laws. They don't. Okay. And what do you know? Wyoming is the last state. Why do I have this lip gloss? Wyoming is the last state alphabetically, and it's the last state that we will cover because there are no more states in the United States with the name, image, and likeness laws. We do have U.S. territories, but I will not be covering them. I am only covering the United States of America, not the territories we got. Okay. All right. So that is all for our name, image, and likeness segment. I really hope this was super helpful for you. We have gone through all 50 of the states plus Washington, D.C. So that's 51. Um, 51 entities in all. Uh, if you have any questions, hit me up on IG. I am Steph Jackson. Or, leave me a good comment and your girl will be more than happy to get back with you. I really hope this helped you. If it did, share it with an athlete, a student athlete, a fellow student athlete, or any student athlete. No, a parent of a student athlete, just share it. Also, hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Give your girl a thumbs up. This thumb is kind of crooked because I broke it a couple years ago, but it's straightening back up. But give me a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to your girl's channel down there. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. And yo, I got so much content. I got so many videos giving you free game or whatever you need should be in just check me out on my dashboard in my on my YouTube. Subscribe. It's not gonna hurt you, but it will help me. Okay. It also will help you. I'm giving out so much free game. Like, stop, don't play with it. Just subscribe. Like, what are we doing? But hey, that is all I have for tonight, today, this morning, this afternoon. I love you to life. And yo, I hope to see you back again soon because tomorrow there will be a new video. All right. So peace out. God bless and Godspeed.